Good morning and welcome to the porch. Well, today we want to do something that has been a request from one of our viewers. A week or so ago, we did a DIY project on self-healing targets. We built some of those ourselves and they turned out real good. Been using them for a week or 2 weeks, whatever it is. And they're doing real good. And we've shot them several times. I've actually had several people out on our range shooting, so we're using them a lot. But anyway, in that process, we went ahead and rebuilt our target stands. And I didn't say too much about our target stands in that other video, a little bit, but not a whole lot. But anyway, having said that, I got a comment from one of our viewers and asked if we'd do a how-to on building the target stands. So we're going to do that today. And it actually works out pretty good for me to do that because I built 3 stands for just our pretty standard targets, but I've got a specialty target that I want to build, and I'm going to build a stand on the same basic principle as all the rest of them, except this one's going to be a little shorter. We're going to use it for zeroing in red dots and scopes and even iron sights on an occasion. But it's going to be, instead of 5 foot tall, this one's going to be 4 foot tall. You can make these stands any height you want them, and 6 foot is usually a pretty good stand height because it's about the height of a man. But on our particular range, the 5 foots work better. And on this specialty target setup that we're going to do today, it's going to be 4 foot tall. So we'll kind of walk through that as we go. But now that's pretty much just the introduction to what this video is about and what we're going to do. And hopefully it will help you. So with all that said, let's go put on some work clothes and get at it. Okay guys, here we are out here in our workshop, and we're getting ready to start cutting the target stands, or the material for them. Now I have pre-measured all this material for these guys, and what I'm going to do here is I'll give you guys a cut list, give you a list of the material that you'll need to buy, and the size, like I said, a cut list. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and cut these things, and we'll let you guys watch that. We get the camera angle changed a little bit, and then we'll go on to drilling and putting them together. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to do here, this is the bottom part of the stand, and it's 24 inches, but I like to have these things cut in a 45-degree angle, so we're going to do that right quick. There's 2 of these, so we've got 4 cuts that we're going to have to make. Okay, there's the bottom part of the target stand. Now, this 45-degree cut is not totally necessary, but it's just one of the little added things that I like to do to make my target stands look a little bit better. Now, what we have, two 24-foot bottom cuts. I say 24-foot, 24-inch bottom cuts. We have two 15-inchers. I'll show you where all these go in a little bit. And we have two of the 4-foot upright cuts. And as I said, I'll show you where all this goes in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to shut the camera off just for a few minutes because I'm going to pre-drill these. I'll show you guys a little bit about that as we go, but for right now, I got to get some other tools gathered up. Okay, so what we want to show you guys right here is the material after it's cut. And you have two 15-inchers, two 24-inchers, and two 4-footers. So now we'll get out there and drill them and get ready to start putting this thing together. Okay, I want to show you guys something I do. Now, this is not necessary, but it's something that I do. I went ahead and pre-marked everything for my drill holes. And what I'll do is I'll lay one 2x4 over the other one. And when I drill, I'll drill into the next 2x4, which will give me the marking I need. And I don't have to go back and mark every 2x4. All I got to do is just mark one of each type. Okay, this is the screws that we're using, just some stuff from Lowe's, 3-inch wood screws. And that'll just give you part of the material list that you need. Okay, I want you guys to see this, how we drill these holes. Now, it's not necessary to pre-drill if you don't want to. I just like to. It makes a cleaner job. All right, just to show you guys what we got going on. How we drilled this top one, drilled through into this bottom one. So you have the bottom one marked exactly like the top one. Now we're going to go ahead and drill this the rest of the way through because it didn't go all the way through. The bit wasn't long enough. Okay, there's our two bottoms. Okay, this is the uprights. We're going to go ahead and pre-drill them. Okay, that concludes all of our drilling, with the exception I do need to go ahead and drill these on through. So let's go ahead and do that right quick. Okay, we're ready to start putting these things together. So hang tight and let me get some tools gathered up. Okay, something we did right here, we clamped this down with a pair of vice grips. We also used this square to square this bottom up with this upright. And I like to go ahead and just pre-start my screws like that. And just put them in. Okay, with that, we got the two uprights done. They're 4 foot tall. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and go to setting up for the cross members. So for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and shut the camera off and get some stuff ready, and we'll do that. We're putting the cross members in right now, and by the way, the measurements on that is 34 inches from the top cross member to the center of the second cross member, and that's that way just because that's what fits my targets. So as we go along here, we'll just go ahead and put these screws in here, get this thing sorted out. Okay, we'll go ahead and get these last few screws in there, and that will conclude the building part of this target stand, and then we'll go on to the painting part of it and go from there. Okay, there it is, guys, finished up and ready for some paint. Doesn't take very long to build one of these and doesn't cost an arm and a leg. I'll give you guys some figures here in a few minutes of cost, and that'll help you to make a decision on whether they'll work or not. But if you noticed, I did get one of my lower base plates on wrong, so I'm going to have to turn that around right quick. And once we get that turned around, then we'll get started on the painting part of this thing. Okay, let's go ahead and get started rolling the paint on this. And you guys will need a paint roller, of course, and then a brush to brush in those little hard to get to places with the paint roller. And once you do all that, then you'll have a nice coat of paint on there. I'll show you about the brush part of it. There's that. Now, another thing that I'd like to mention to you here, you can put a couple of coats on there if you want to, and maybe one will do all you need to do. But that's, I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch us paint, so I'm going to shut this video off and I'll finish the painting later. Okay, there we are, finished up and painted. And I'll try to put some cost in there for you so you guys know about what it costs to do this. But that is the target stand ready to go down on the range once it dries. I'm going to let it dry overnight and then I'll put it down on the range. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and go into the office. And okay, here we are back in the studio where it's a little bit warmer. We do have the target stand built, and if you guys will hang on with me for just a few minutes, I'm going to give you the bill of materials, going to give you the cost of the build itself, the project, and that way if you decide you want to build something similar to this, you'll have the ability to do that and know what it's going to cost you. But before we do that, let me do something that I often forget to do, but I need to remember to do it. I need to ask you guys, if you get anything out of these and they're helpful to you, to subscribe, like, share, and make a comment. Without these things, our YouTube videos don't get out there to as many people, but the more of you that do these things, the more they put our videos out there. It's the way the algorithm works with YouTube, from what I understand. And not only that, we're just over 800 subscribers. We need 1,000. That's our goal right now. And so if you guys feel like you'd like to subscribe, that'll help us get closer to that goal of 1,000, and we'd appreciate that. Now, without any further ado, I do want to talk to you a little bit about the I got some notes here. I want to make sure that I stay on my notes. I want to talk to you a little bit about the target stands. I know that some people are going to look at those 2x4 target stands and say, well, heavier than I need for a target stand. And that may be true, but let me explain why we're doing it that way. Now, we trained security teams for a few years here, and we didn't train them on the place. We had to go out to public ranges, and I had built some IDPA style target stands so that they could be moved. They were really lightweight and you could take them apart. And we used them for several years. And in fact, I still have some of them, but we have our personal range that we've been building, and it's a stationary range. So we don't need lightweight targets to move around. We want targets that are a little more sturdy. And let me tell you part of the reason for that, at least one reason. One of the reasons is that when the wind blows with the IDPA lightweight stands, they tend to blow over or blow away. And we've had that happen. Be out on the range training a group of people and then have to stop everything, chase the targets down, set them back up, and all that. That's not that big of a deal, but that's just part of the terrain that comes along with lightweight targets. So it's not that lightweight targets don't have their place. They really do. And that might be a better target for you, the listener. If it is, we'll consider that. And we might show you how to do an IDPA target at some point if you'd like for us to. But now there are videos out there that they show those. So I don't know it's necessary for us to. We'd do it if our viewers wanted us to do that. But having said that, get back to the heavier weight targets. We're able to move those around on a range anywhere we want to. They're not that bad. They don't blow over, and that's a good thing. So those are all big pluses to us. So what we're going to do right now, I'm just going to show you a little bit of film, or not film, but basically still pictures of some of the tools that we had to use and some of the supplies that we had as far as paint and that sort of thing goes. And we've also, again, put together a build material list and a cost list for you, and I'll be showing that to you right now. So let's just get on with that. Here are the tools that you'll need and the paint brushes and rollers. Okay, guys, that should give you pretty much everything you need to know to be able to build these particular target stands. We here at the Porch hope that this video will help you, and we hope that it's an adequate how-to video. They are DIY builds, of course. And so with that said, we here at the Porch love you. We want the best for you. May God bless and prosper you. Have a good day.